their lives. I got no right to do any less than them.
I can offer you a chance.
Our goal is to create a new breed of super soldiers.
Imagine watching both of your parents go to serve in the war, and you're wanting to do the same thing, but every time that you try to go and enlist, there's a whole long list of reasons why you can't serve. That's the situation for young Steve Rogers, and he really wants to be able to serve his country just like his parents did and other people that he knows, especially his best friend who's going out to be shipped out to go serve overseas. And now Steve wants to do the same thing, so he goes around, tries to sign up for the military, but every time he goes, he gets this long list of reasons he can't be in the military. So after a couple of tries, somebody catches on to the fact that he is doing this, but rather than arresting him, since it is illegal to forge your documents, a German scientist approaches Steve Rogers and offers him a shot to partake in the special super soldier program. Anybody that goes into this program is tested to see who is the best person for the serum to be the first person to get it. So Steve agrees. He will take any chance he can get, and he goes to this camp and starts training. And it's just obvious that Steve is a selfless person. He's willing to sacrifice himself for others, and he also has got brains. I mean, there are some scenes that are often overlooked, but it shows how smart Steve Rogers is. So the German scientist agrees that Steve Rogers should be the choice for the Captain America. So he participates in this experiment to grow his muscles and see if he can gain some super soldier strength. So he undergoes this procedure, and the procedure is successful. He is now going to be the Captain America that leads America's soldiers into battle. However, before that wasn't the government's purpose. They wanted to be able to make multiple super soldiers. Well, unfortunately, a spy shows up at that experiment and kills the German scientist, as well as steals one of the super soldier serum vials. Thankfully, Steve Rogers is able to catch up and destroy that bottle, but the spy kills himself in the process. So Steve learns that he's got to go overseas and fight. That's what he wants to do. He's got all this super soldier strength. He wants to go and fight for his country and lead America. But that's not what the government wants to do with him. The government wants to take him and wheel him in front of a stage and kind of make him into a show trying to get war bonds. Now, not the best call, but that's what they want to do. So, I mean, okay. They want to just use him as a parading monkey. And Steve isn't happy about that. Eventually, however, Steve realizes that his best friend, Bucky Barnes, has been captured by Hydra, which is a scientific corporation inside of the Nazis that is led by the Red Skull. They're trying to develop a super weapon. So, yeah, Bucky was investigating that and got captured. And Steve's not going to sit by idly and not do anything about it. So he goes in with the help of Howard Stark and Peggy Carter. He goes in and he saves Bucky in the process. And it's really great to see that kind of friendship. You don't take no for an answer. You're best friends, and you're going to do anything for each other. And that's what I was trying to point out there from that part of the plot. So after saving over hundreds of soldiers, Steve Rogers returns to their camp, and he surrenders himself. Says that I acted without orders. I accept any punishment that you want to give me. That just shows how Steve Rogers is. He accepts his actions. This is the role model for somebody that a person you want to be. You want to be this noble. And I really enjoy this film because of how noble that this character is. So, back onto the plot, you keep going on. Bucky and Steve work together. They start destroying a lot of Hydra's bases. James Bucky Barnes ends up actually dying in an accident. Well, yeah, he falls off a train into a ravine, so he's pronounced dead, which crushes Steve. and that really shows just the loss. It's terrible. It's a terrible part of this film. And then you go and Steve goes after the Red Skull with the super weapon, and he ends up catching up with him. But of course, he's in a plane, and this plane can't be diverted from its course, so it's either going to blow up New York, or Steve's going to have to drive it into the water, which Steve sacrifices himself and drives into the water. However, he does not die. He is only frozen in ice for 70 years until he wakes up again, and he is now a man out of his time. And that's where this movie ends. So the reason that I really love this film, and the Captain America films are obviously my favorite. I love Captain America. And I kind of hinted at some of the reasons before. You got the fact that he's noble, he's not willing to give in. He does some things that are wrong, he does some things that are illegal, but in the end he takes blame for that. He admits that what he did was wrong. He's not one of those people that sits and points fingers and says, well, you guys didn't take me into the army, so I'm going to go check with them. No. He takes responsibility for what he's done. And that's what you need to do in a character. Like, your superheroes in these films should be people you want to model after. Steve Rogers was meant to be the model soldier, the person that people needed to follow. And a soldier needs to be able to take orders, but Steve doesn't do that all the time. But if you don't take orders, you need to be ready to surrender yourself for disciplinary action, as Steve always is ready to do. So it's really great to see this in a film. And this film was had great lessons, had a great plot. I know a lot of people said that after watching this movie, Captain America wasn't their favorite Avenger. He just wasn't that good. And I know this was early in the MCU, but we are lacking in the department of people like just Marvel releasing new superheroes. You are lacking in this type of nobility in characters that made people fall in love with Captain America. So I really hope that at some point you will see Marvel come back and make some more films like this, because this was a really great film. I love the sequel and the third one as well. I hope to have a review about them at some point as well. So let me know in the comments what you thought about this film. Let me know which of the phase 1 was your favorite, and I'd love to discuss that with you. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.
You're late.
Nobody's perfect.